Hi, I'm Janna.
And I'm Ryan Greir, and we're Whispering Cedars Ranch. We're based an hour outside of Calgary, and we're a first-generation sheep ranch. We met, I guess, on Vancouver Island, and I lured her out to the prairies, to the flatlands. And we've called this home for the last 15 years. We both knew that we wanted to have a farm. We originally just had a 4-acre parcel, and we kind of started as a hobby farm where we knew we wanted to have kids one day. We've since expanded, and that's where we are now.
Yeah, so Canada was built on wool. So it was one of our very first trading goods. It was literally our first currency. So our role here is to celebrate that heritage, but also to build a sustainable future for all aspects of the wool value chain.
When we did start to grow, we got to a point where we outgrew the 4 acres that we started on, and we said, okay, well, what's next? Where do we go from here? And we looked at a lot of other jurisdictions across Canada, and we just had fallen in love with Alberta by that time. The big blue skies, availability of land. And then, to top it off, we saw the opportunity for solar expansion and how Alberta was going to boom in that space, and started to navigate, how can we be part of that? How can we, tie in food, fiber, and fertilizer under those solar panels? And typical day, or especially during a weekend, we are up first thing in the morning. The kids, they get up at 6:30 a.m., 7 a.m., and they're crushing their Cheerios while we're mapping out the day and trying to plan, the next few moves, or at least the next week.
We had an interest in solar. We knew it was something we wanted to look at. There wasn't really anything at the time here, and as we said that, it was like this site was kind of in the works. So as soon as it came out, Ryan and I kind of got our ducks in a row and made a proposal and said, hey, what do you think about sheep on the solar site? So it just took off from there, really.
So this is our second year into a 3-year contract on the solar site currently. We have 400 ewes out on grass right now.
With lambs, yeah.
With lambs, and so we're looking to have 600 ewes coming into next year.
The interesting part about solar that we've noticed in the last couple of years is the grass definitely grows in a different way. It grows higher, it grows thicker, seems to retain a lot more moisture, I think just because it gets more shade under the panels.
So one of the benefits of solar is they're literally on
Just
lush grass.
Lots of shelter, fresh grass. And so, to grow a nice fleece, you need really good nutrition. And so that's what the goal is out there, is to feed them really well, have them come grow a really nice fleece, and then they're shorn in the spring.
When you have sheep grazing on land for year after year, you create incredible biodiversity, butterflies and bees, habitat for other animals. What's amazing about that project is that they're maintaining a property that's generating energy, and then they're maintaining it in a way that's sustainable, that is not using machines to have to cut that grass. So it's really kind of the best of both worlds.
So what's magic about wool is that we take it off every year. It's not only a requirement, but it's also what's best for the animal. So in our practice, we take it off in the spring. It allows us to shear the animals before they go out on grass and before they go out to the solar site. And then by the time they come back in the fall and they're ready to come into the winter, they have a nice thick wool coat. What's more magical than that? Having a renewable source of fiber that's taken off annually. We have a shearing deck. From there, essentially those fleeces are thrown onto a skirting table. So that skirting allows some of the fiber or anything, some of the dirt to fall off of that. It's essentially rolled up and placed into a bag, and from there we take those bags, we get them tied up and rolled out, and then we store them until such a time that we truck them down to the nearest depot. And from there, our understanding is that goes into the Canadian wool value chain, and from there many different organizations pull out of that value chain to create Canadian products. The future's bright for Canadian wool, and we're excited to be a small part of it. There's many Canadian producers that are part of the Canadian clip every single year. And what I've loved about Campaign for Wool is they've showcased so many different neat and unique ways that wool can be utilized and showcased around the world. And we're so excited to be a small part of that process. We continue to evolve our process and our practices, our best practices, to bring a better, higher quality fleece to market.
Wool's making a comeback. Yes.